Roblox has just released a new feature which allows group owners to publish neat looking announcements and even send out normal and push notifications to their members as well. If you're a Roblox developer, then you should be extremely excited for this change because this is huge. So yeah, only about a day or two ago, Roblox made an announcement on the developer forum that they're introducing announcements for Roblox groups. And when I saw the title of this, I was pretty excited, but then once I actually read about it and saw the feature in action, I was very, very happy with it. Now, that's not to say that everything about this feature is perfect, because there's actually some things that I'm very disappointed in, and we'll talk about that towards the end of the video. But like I said, if you are a Roblox developer, this is an amazing feature for us, and if we use this correctly, we can see a lot of positive results. Before we get into creating an announcement, I want to quickly show you what this actually looks like. So on the Roblox website, I went to my group, which is called MonzterDev. On this page, we're in the About section. We can see the description here, and now we can see an announcement section as well. And if we scroll down a little bit, we can see sort of the beginning of a full post, and it's basically just a preview of a full post. So we can see that the announcement is by me, MonzterDev, and when it was published, and even at what time. And then we can even see that an image is included here as well, which that is pretty cool. Then we can see the heading of this announcement. So I call this brand new obby game number 2. And then we can see the entire contents or description of the post. Well, not the entire thing, because right here we see that we have a show more button. So once we click that, we can see that this expands a little bit and it continues displaying everything that I included in that post. And then towards the bottom, we can also see a like button right here. And actually, because I'm not logged into Roblox, this doesn't show one of the features. But now that I'm logged into Roblox, we can actually see that there's a little bell icon right here that says turn off notifications. And this is almost the most important part of this entire feature. So not only can we make announcements on our group page, and the announcements can be very cool. Like, you're able to include a lot of information here. If you publish an update for your game, you can definitely create an announcement for that and probably include the entire changelog inside the announcement, unless it's some gigantic one. But in addition to that, you can encourage people to turn on the notifications, and not only would they receive a normal notification, but they'll also receive a post notification if they had that enabled on their phones or other devices as well. And that is super, super big. Roblox giving developers the ability to actually send out push notifications to their audience is just insane. Now, we'll go more in detail with all those things in just a minute, but let's go over how we can actually create an announcement. So I'm going to go to one of my groups, which I haven't set the announcements up for yet. And now once I go to the group page, underneath the shout section, we can see this sort of nice little image displayed to us. It says supercharge your announcements with notifications, images, reactions, and more. When you link your group to Guilded, announcements posted on Guilded will automatically post an announcement on your group. So this is kind of introducing us to one of the things that I really don't like about this update, and that is Roblox is forcing us to use Guilded. Now, I'm not going to go too much in detail into my opinion on that yet. We'll do that more towards the end of this, but even though I'm not happy with that, keep in mind that this doesn't mean that you have to use Guilded. Ultimately, it really just comes down to creating an account, which you might even be able to create an account directly with Roblox, or even just log in with Roblox. And then once you have an account on there, you can pretty much create a community in about one click, link that community with your Roblox group, and then you can start making announcements, and you can do that all directly in a web browser. You don't even need to download the Guilded app or anything else like that. So anyways, I believe because I'm signed in, I can already click on create a community, and once I do that, it asks me for the community name. Now, if you haven't already gone through this process, it might take you through the process of creating an account on Guilded, but like I said, that's a very simple process and should take less than 2 minutes. So I'm going to go ahead and create my community by clicking continue. And right here, it says that it's already found my Guilded account, which is linked to my Roblox username. So we can go ahead and click continue. And now it displays that my community is now linked. And because I actually have the desktop app, I'm receiving notifications for that as well. Anyways, we're going to go ahead and click on create an announcement, which should take us to the Guilded page. And I'm not going to open that in the app. We'll just do this all through the browser. Now, if you've used Discord previously, then you should be sort of familiar with this UI, but it is a little bit different. Either way, I'm not really going to go over all the things of actually using or setting up a Guilded server or anything like that. All I'm going to focus on is actually creating an announcement. So inside of your Guilded community or server, there should be a channel called announcements. And now any post that you create inside of here will actually show up on your Roblox group page. So now that I'm on my Roblox group page, I was going to refresh it, but once I click that X, we can actually see what this looks like now. And now there's an announcement section on here. And it tells us to post our first Guilded announcement. So let me go back to Guilded, and then I'm just going to create a quick little post. So I'm going to title this post test post, and then for the description, I'm going to say this is a test post, ! And then click on post. Now, once I've done that, we can see that this has been posted inside of our Guilded server. And if I swap back to our group page on Roblox, let me refresh this. And as soon as I refresh it, we can actually see that the post is now being displayed on the front page of our group. it's also recommending that I actually sign up for notifications. So let's go ahead and do that as well. In addition to just displaying the announcement, it also gives us a button to view all of the announcements that we've announced previously, and it also promotes our Guilded server to our members and recommends that they join it as well. Cool, so now that we understand how we can actually create a post, let's talk about what things you can actually include inside of a post. So I swapped over to my other group, which is connected to my other Guilded server, so that I can show you an announcement that I made previously. So this entire thing right here is just one big announcement. And actually, I'm going to go ahead and click on edit so that you can see what this looks like as if we were creating this originally. So for the title of this, I said brand new obby game number 2. And then inside of here, I included some text. The things that I want to point out is I made some text bold, and with the word here, I actually included a link right here that people could click on. In addition to that, on this line, I actually included a gilded emoji, and then I included a heading right here as well. Then I listed some things off, and inside of the list, I did some things as well. So I made one of these a spoiler tag, then I made one of these in an inline code, I added a strike through for that text, and then towards the very bottom of our post is where I actually included an image. And I set the caption of that image to display super simple obby logo. Now, if you're wondering how you can add images or anything like that, literally just click the media button right here. But now, with all that being said and seeing how this actually appears inside of Guilded and how it should actually look, let's swap over to Roblox and see what this actually looks like. And in my opinion, this is where the feature begins to fall short. I don't mean to be too harsh of a critic, but this was pretty disappointing. So when we look at the post, we can see that we do actually have like the title heading right here. And I mean, we can also see that we clearly have an image at the very beginning of this post, which is nice to actually have an image, right? But it's also just a little bit annoying that the image doesn't actually appear where we placed it at. In addition to that, if we actually look at the contents of the post, we can see that none of the formatting came with it. So this text is not bold, the word here does not have any link, there is no gilded emoji included at the end of this line, there is no heading for features, the text that we made a spoiler of was literally replaced with spoiler surrounded in brackets. The inline code was not carried over, and the strike through was not carried over as well. And then if we look at the very bottom, we can see that the caption of the image was actually included at the very bottom, but like that also makes no sense because the image does not appear there. So that text literally means nothing to anybody looking at this announcement. And I mean, I kind of even forgot this, but like the entire list is just laid out, in my opinion, just not a nice way. I mean, it's nice that at least we kind of have a list and that wasn't messed up entirely, but like, why isn't the list even prefixed with anything to clearly illustrate that it is a list? I don't know. Like I said, I don't want to come off as too harsh of a critic, and I'm definitely not trying to be offensive to the developers who actually made this feature. It's just kind of annoying because I feel like it's a pretty consistent pattern for Roblox to actually release different features, whether that be for Roblox Studio or things like this, which appear on the website, and for those features to just be completely half finished. Like I said, this is an amazing feature, but at the same time, it also just kind of feels like it's so far from being finished, and the features that it's missing are like some of the most simplest things. If we were able to get this entire announcement system set up with sending out notifications and everything like that, why weren't we able to even just get the basic formatting of a post implemented as well? Like, I could understand not including links, not including emojis, maybe even not even including spoilers. But like, you're telling me that we couldn't have formatted text, strike through text, a formatted list, headings? I mean, really, like, come on. Why is all of these very, very basic things just not actually implemented? Anyways, I can harp on that point all day, but I don't want to waste any more of our time. Let's actually talk about the notification side of things. So, like we've already seen, we do want to encourage and motivate people to turn on notifications for our group. The reason for that is because when we make an announcement post, anybody who has notifications turned on will be notified both on Roblox via this little notification tab right here, and on any of their devices which they have notifications enabled on as well. And like I said, push notifications to devices is a very huge feature, and it is really, really helpful for us developers. Now, I know that we've already briefly covered those things, but there's a little bit more to notifications that we should know about. The first thing, and one of the more important things that I think we should be aware of, is that only one notification can go out per hour. Now, this isn't 100% confirmed. I tried looking all over for some actual concrete information on this, but from my own testing, what I was able to find is that it seems like you're only actually able to issue one announcement per hour, which will also send out notifications to people. So right here, we can see that at 4:21 p.m., I created another test announcement, and I was notified for that. Then we can see at 5:29 p.m., I issued another notification test, and we were notified for that as well. Now, obviously, you don't see it here, but from 4:21 to 5:29, I made multiple different announcements, and none of those actually sent out notifications. So that's why I currently think that they have a limit for 1 per hour. And honestly, 1 per hour is a perfectly acceptable limit. I'm perfectly fine with that. I just wish that they actually disclosed this so that we actually knew what it was and weren't just left guessing. And keep in mind that this hour cooldown seems to be true for both the standard notifications and the push notifications on devices. Now, another thing that we should be aware of is how can players actually control their notifications. So what we'll do is we'll click the settings icon and go into our settings. Once we're in our settings, we want to go to the notifications tab, and inside of here, we can see 3 different categories. We have mobile push notifications, and I believe the notification that matters for this feature is group announcements. A group I subscribe to has a new announcement. Now, when I looked at my settings, this was automatically enabled by default. I'm not sure if this is always enabled or if there's certain scenarios where it will be disabled, but if somebody's telling you that they're not receiving a group announcement, let them know that they should probably make sure that the group announcement setting is turned on. Then we have experience notifications, which is just about experiences. It doesn't have anything to do with groups, so we can skip over that. Because below that, we do have group notifications. So now if we look at this, we can actually see what groups we have subscribed to receive notifications from. So effectively, this setting seems like the exact same thing as toggling on or off the notification bell on the specific group page, because it basically just displays all the groups that I'm a member of, and it shows which ones I have notifications on and off for. So ultimately, the only thing that we should really be sure of here is that we have group announcements enabled for mobile push notifications. So now, with all that being said, let me know in the comment section down below how you feel about group announcements. Like I said in the beginning, I think this feature is amazing. No matter what, at the end of the day, this change is a very positive change for all developers. Personally, I'm not much of a Roblox player, and anytime I looked at Roblox groups, I never really saw any value to them. That's not to say that they had no value, but I just felt like the value given from them was just so not really valuable at all. It really felt like you're joining a Roblox game, the Roblox game recommends you to join a group so that you get extra currency or different rewards, so then you join their group, and then that's it. You don't do any further interactions with the group, you don't see anything from the group or anything like that. Like, you pretty much just join the group, and then that's it. But now that groups are actually being used to send notifications to players, this is a huge thing. And this is really going to encourage developers to actually promote and get people to continue to join their group. Anyways, now that we've covered all the positives from this update, I want to further talk about some of the negatives. So aside from the lack of post formatting, my biggest gripe with this update is that Roblox is forcing us to use Gilded. Now, on their developer forum post, I even responded with my thoughts on this specific topic. So I said that I'd be happy to use Gilded if more than 0.01% of my audience used it. I feel like this is a poor way of pushing creators and developers to use Gilded, which effectively is increasing your user base there. At this moment, there is no point for creators to use Gilded because the user base is so small. If you were to use Gilded over Discord for your community, you'd see a massive drop-off and it would only be a disadvantage to you. Don't get me wrong, I would love to use Gilded and I would love to see it grow, but I don't think this is the right way to go about it at all. This feels like you're locking a very useful feature behind Gilded. So I'm in no way motivated to use Gilded for a positive reason, I'm now only using it because you're forcing me to. And then I ended off by saying we should have been given the option to do this with Discord as well, where 99.999% of everyone's audience currently is. And me personally, I always try to see both sides of an issue, so I did really try to understand Roblox's perspective here. And I feel like I have a pretty good and fair understanding of their perspective, but as a user, developer, or consumer of their service and platform, whatever you want to label me as, I don't like this. I think the only people who actually agree with this decision would be the people involved in the business side of things. And the reason I'm saying that is because what they're doing is literally forcing you to use Gilded. They're using this as a way to increase their user base on Gilded. Because if you're unaware, Roblox actually did purchase Gilded, so they own this platform. So what they're doing here is a pretty good strategy at actually encouraging and giving people a reason to use their platform. But again, being on the opposite side of things, not caring about the business side of things, this just does not feel respectful at all. So on one end, I don't entirely blame Roblox for doing this. I completely understand the business side of things and it makes sense. And I think this will actually be effective at least getting some more people introduced to the platform and maybe even encouraging their audience to use Gilded as well. I also feel like this is a small sneak peek into what the future of the platform looks like, where they're probably going to try to integrate Gilded further into the platform as much as they possibly can. And look, I would fully hop on that bandwagon and be completely fine with that if more than 5 people actually use their platform. But nobody uses Gilded. Everybody uses Discord, and it feels like this is the beginning of Roblox kind of being a monopoly and preventing other apps like Discord from being integrated into their platform. Now, when I say a monopoly and when I say prevent them from being integrated, I don't mean that as completely literal. What I'm mostly meaning by this is it doesn't feel like Roblox is doing this because they feel like it is the right and the best decision for everybody and their entire community. Because I could completely understand if they came out and said, oh, we're not able to do this with Discord because of this, and this reason. But even if they said that, at the end of the day, this doesn't need to be tied into any Guilded or Discord platform. You should be able to make group announcements from a web page on your group page. Like, it doesn't need to be attached to any platform, but Roblox literally decided to lock this feature behind their own platform, which again, using that platform is a disadvantage to all creators because there is no existing audience currently on there. And yes, that is a little bit of an exaggeration. There's probably 100, maybe even 1,000, maybe even 10,000 people have accounts on Guilded. Okay, I know, I'm just trolling a little bit, but I think this take is very fair to both sides. Anyways, enough of the negatives. Nothing I say is going to change about it, but I just wanted to voice my opinion because I'm very passionate about these different things. At the end of the day, this is still an amazing feature which us developers can use to engage with and funnel our audience to our new games, projects, and things like that. I feel like it really gives us a reason to use groups and a reason to motivate people to join our groups as well. And with that being said, that's going to be it for this video. If you did enjoy or you were excited about this announcement, please go down below and hit that like button. If you're interested in more Roblox development content, feel free to hit that subscribe button. And if you would like to support me or gain access to a ton of resources that you can use to easily create your own Roblox game, you can visit MonzterDev or my Patreon. There will be a link down below in the description to both of these, where you can support me and gain access to all of those resources. Anyways, with all that being said, I hope that you have a great day, and I'll see you guys in the next video.